Hello everyone, welcome back. My name is David Webb, and today we're going to be talking about more ways to beat writer's block. Last time, I really focused on things that you should keep the same, more or less doing the same things over and over again to build better habits. Today we're going to be talking about little ways that you can change how you write that will actually help you beat writer's block. But first, let this be the official announcement that The Light Thief Book 2, The Phoenix Mandate, is now out and available on Amazon as an ebook and a paperback. This is the book that's been holding me up and setting me behind schedule a little bit when it comes to videos. As such, I've put so much work into this one. Be sure to check it out, read the first book if you haven't already, and let me know what you think. Alright, let's jump into the video. The first thing that you can change to beat writer's block is to write something different. But David, I feel like your advice is just to always write more. And today is no different. A lot of people will say that there's no secret recipe, no one thing that you can do to become a better writer, and those people are big ol' liars. Writing will always be the number one thing that you can do to improve your writing, followed up closely by reading. So what are you changing up as far as your writing goes? Switch to a different project. I personally don't like to have two different books going on at the same time. I have done it and it has helped, but I just like to focus on one at a time. For instance, I'm currently writing the fourth book in my series, but not too long ago I took a break and I wrote a prequel. For some reason, my productivity on the prequel was insane, and it was some of the fastest and best writing I've ever done. Switching projects is a really good way to give you a fresh burst of inspiration on something you haven't touched in a little bit. I know writers who work on two books at the same time, and they'll spend an hour working on one and an hour working on the other, and they say that when they sit down to write the second one, it's like sitting down to write for the very first time. Again, I currently like to work on one project at a time, but I have noticed boosted levels of productivity when I work on two at a time. If you don't have two projects going on at the same time, you can always free write. Get a journal, write your thoughts down, find writing prompts, and write 200-300 words real quick. Just writing something completely different in a completely different genre can help give you fresh perspective on the project you really want to write and give you that burst of inspiration that you really need. The next thing that you can do is change your scenery. I do this on a regular basis, and it works almost every time. I typically like to write in coffee shops. There's just something about the atmosphere, whether it be the ambient noise in the background, that feeling of doing a rather introverted activity in a very public and open environment, and something else that I'm forgetting at the time. But when writing starts to get a little tougher, when it slows down, when I'm having a hard time just getting words on the page, I'll go to a different coffee shop. I'll pack up my stuff, head across town, set up shop somewhere else, and like writing something different, it's like sitting down to write again for the very first time. Basically resetting that clock inside you saying, okay, we're writing now. I do this a lot, works 98% of the time. The next thing that you could do is listen to different music while you write. Some writers can't listen to music while they write, but most writers I've ever met listen to some form of music while they write. There are 3 different styles of music that I prefer: EDM, hard rock, and instrumental. If I'm editing, formatting, and doing some cover work at 4 o'clock in the morning, it's typically Weird Al Yankovic, but that's so far out of left field that I don't really count it. Simply changing the style of the music you're listening to has more of an effect on your brain than you'd think. It's sometimes subtle, sometimes dramatic, but you'll think in different ways. If you usually listen to music with words while you write, try listening to music without words. I used to not be able to listen to music with any words while I write, but if it's music I know really well, sometimes that helps too. Next up, write at a different time. There are some writers who will tell you if you don't get up in the morning and write first thing, then you might as well not be writing at all for the day. This is absolute nonsense. It's great to have a solid morning routine, but if you don't write best in the morning, you shouldn't be writing in the morning. Take a spreadsheet. Track when you write, how much you write, and how you think you did. And after a couple weeks of data, you'll have a pretty good idea of when you should be writing. That being said, changing the time of your writing can help. I know I said in my last video, if you write at the same time every day, it trains your mind to sit down and write. And that's still true, but if you change it up a little every now and then, you'll catch your mind off guard. It might be a little bit harder to get into the groove of writing again, but when you do, you can take advantage of different energy levels. Say if you typically write in the late evenings when you're a little bit tired, and you change it up and you write earlier in the day when you have more energy, you'll possibly find that your writing stamina goes a little bit further. Or this can help you change up your atmosphere. If you usually write first thing in the morning when nothing's open, and then one day you decide to take your writing to the park at night, find a well-lit area though, then that's pretty cool. That's a cool atmosphere to write in. One I personally haven't written in before. Side note, gotta try that. Again, you'll do this one with mixed results, but if nothing else is working, give this a try. Finally, try changing the writing tool that you're working in. There are 4 or 5 different reliable programs that I'd suggest you write in. I personally prefer Scrivener. It really helps me keep track of a bunch of different things. It's really easy to move chapters and scenes around. It's very friendly toward people who like to be organized, but it's also very user-friendly, so those of you who have never tried an organized approach to your writing can get right into it without any problem. But if things are getting a little stale in Scrivener, I'll switch up my writing tool. Now, the only other writing tool that I use is actually an incredibly helpful tool for those of you with writer's block. It's called Cold Turkey Writer. It's basically a program that you put on your computer that blocks you out from doing anything but writing. If you get distracted easily, this is the tool for you. It forces your computer to a blank screen that you can only type in, and it will not let you out until you've written a certain number of words, or written for a certain length of time. I find this incredibly helpful for writing sprints. When I have a very set length of time and I want to write a certain number of words, it helps to just eliminate distractions completely. For those of you who are switching over to a program like Microsoft Word, the size and the type of font alone can really help you break free of a little writer's block. In fact, I'm going to say something that sounds ridiculous, like heresy, blasphemy, but try changing your font to Comic Sans, the most universally hated font in the entire world. I got this idea from a Facebook post recently where someone basically said, change your font to Comic Sans, just try it, and see if the words don't flow a little smoother and faster. I thought it was absolutely ridiculous, but I, being the curious and gullible person that I am, tried it. A lot of theories abound as to why this works, whether it's the unassuming and innocent look of the font, even though we all know it's the devil, or whether it's just so ridiculous that you can't help but laugh at it, that it breaks free a different side of you and helps you relax a little bit and lets the words flow a little easier. Again, I thought it was ridiculous, but it actually really helped. This is another way of changing your writing environment. And that's it for today. Little things that you can change to instantly make a huge difference in your writing. Try these out, let me know what you think, and please don't forget to check out my book. You can read it for free if you have Kindle Unlimited. And if you don't have Kindle Unlimited, it's $5. It's super cheap. I just recommend reading the first one first for, obvious reasons. Guys, there will be more tips on how to beat writer's block coming soon, so be sure to like, comment, subscribe, notify, the bell thing. Do all the things. It really helps me out. If you have any friends online that are writers who you think would benefit from this video, send them the link. If you're subscribed already, you may not get the notifications about the videos, so be sure to hit that little bell down there, so you can be notified of all future videos. So get to writing, and I'll see you next time.